How did you also find the transition from ANTP to TAMPAN?
We would not have, there wouldn't have been anything tampered if not for the litigation today, litigation tomorrow that was actually orchestrated by one of us, to be precise, Comrade Victor Ashaolu. He had been a terror on almost everybody, all this Abalaba stuff. So, and I decided to just face it. Now, what's wrong with this man now? How could you be rubbishing all these elders just because you had the opportunity of going to the university to go and study theater? He had diploma in theater and he was actually using that as a yardstick to deal with these people. So I really, 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 really faced it. But unfortunately, what broke the association was the last litigation that we had in 2000. And we were in court for about 3.5 years. We had one that we were in court for 9 years. Then another one that was about 3.5 years. The case was not favorable. The High Court judge then said actually won, and I said, well, I will appeal. I funded the court, at least 80%. People will testify to that. I spent almost my fortune, the middle that I had there, on the association. Because 80% of the money spent during that litigation, the last one, came from me. Yeah, I can say it boldly. And those people who knew about that will attest to that Dele was actually saying the truth. So when the case was not favorable, the lawyer just said, if you know you have the majority, why didn't you just opt out and form another association? This one cannot continue to hold you to ransom, and that was how we broke out. But we never knew that people would follow us, and they just decided to follow us. And that is how ANTP, because I would just say it's about ANTP metamorphosed into, because majority of those who were in ANTP are the people that actually, in TAMPAN today. Okay. So when we broke out, when we broke up, we decided to just go and get another one formed. We said, okay, let us just look for some people to steer the association to steering committee that will effect the registration of the association, set for those who can be the board of trustees, then organize an election. So it was after the election, unanimously and unopposed, I became the first president of the association.
How did you feel?
It was a solidarity support, I guess. I think it was like, this guy, he has been struggling, trying to liberate people, trying to do this. We just have to concede this one for him. I didn't feel
coming from all the battles that you've had.
Yeah, I just felt, okay, it's one of those things when you really want to be relevant, there are some things that you have to pass through, and those are the things that I actually passed through. So I don't really see it as a big deal. The only big deal is this is not the kind of TAMPAN I envisaged.
Why?
Yeah. When I got there, people were clamoring that I should run for the second time. I said, no. It's not all about being called president. I thought I have gotten a structure. We have a template that we can work on. So my first 4 years is just like, structuring the association. I thought somebody who is going to take subsequently will now work on that and start moving it. But I've not seen anything moving in there. This was the first time I'm saying this publicly. I've not seen anything moving in TAMPAN so far. So far. Yeah, I thought we would have gone far than this because of the volume of membership is our strength. And I think we should have explored that. We should have explored that, to have moved far, far, far from where we are today.
Looking at the industry, how would you also, or what would you also say about the state of the industry today?
Well,
Do you think
honestly speaking, the young ones have done greatly well. They have opened eyes of actors because we are now, I'm not saying people are being remunerated accordingly, but at least it's quite better than the way it was when we started. People can now live a little bit comfortable. They can, if they know what they're doing. Those who enjoy startups among us now, they can feed their children, they can put one or two things together, and that will make them to feel that okay, I might not be rich, but I'm an average man. So the young ones have done that, and I have to give it to them. Compared to when we started, I think relatively there is improvement, especially that area of commerce and that area of quality.
so? What would be your advice to many of the practitioners today, especially the young ones who's coming behind, in terms of how they can best achieve
Well,
greater goals?
well, I have said this many times. Education is key. Is key, very, very key. Why I've just said that is, yeah, I've said it. I've said it many times that when you are into one particular practice, when you are practicing a trade, a craft, and you don't know the theory of that thing that you are doing, it's a sharp play. And if you know the theory of the job and you refuse to practice, it is just an intellectual waste. That's the way I see it, and that is what is affecting this nation. We have a lot of people who have what it takes, who knows how to put it down on paper, but when it comes to practice, nil. I have seen many journalists who who is only by mouth. They went to school of journalism, or they actually went to university to study mass communication, which I think will have enabled them to have this journalistic knowledge. But when they come out, they go to bank to go and work. When they come out, they deviate totally. They leave the profession for something else. And one thing that I do tell my children is, if you know you want to go to school, tell me. If you know you don't want to go to school, just tell me. Though I love my children going to school, but if you know you are not going, if after I might have wasted my money on you going to the university, and you now come back to say you want to go and open spa, I will curse you. I'm not saying you cannot diversify, but you just have to first let me see you establish yourself first. Then, if you have enough money, then you can. Let me take, for instance, Bolande St. Peter is a lawyer, and she worked as a lawyer for many years. She made her money, and she has this flair for entertainment, and she invested in it. And today, she's a force to be reckoned with, except we are just deceiving ourselves. Only Afolayan. Yes, let us forget about the theater background that he has by virtue of being a son of a veteran too, of a legend. He worked in a bank. He connected himself to an extent. He had the administrative knowledge. He now said, okay, I want to venture into theater. It's allowed. That's one is perfect. If my children, after they might have worked, ní gbogbo area wọn, if they now say they want to invest in theatre, I'll be glad. It is going to be my delight. I'll be delighted. But after I have sent you to school, sent you to university, you now come back to tell me, Daddy, mo fẹ́ lọ sí gym. Ah, ó máa di wàhálà gan. Ó máa lé díẹ̀. Nígbà tó mọ yẹn, ó ṣe jẹ́ kí ẹ̀rọ ìdẹ̀ sọ́dọ̀ power mic kó ti mú kọ́ ẹ láti bẹ̀. Ó ní ṣèyẹ mi nígbà wo. That's where I'm being tough. That's where. And to God be the glory, God has been on my side. I have many children like other actors, not a lot of them, but my children, they have not disappointed me. They have not disappointed me. I encourage them to go to school, and they actually did. My last son is a law student in Osu. I have two of them. One is in Javu, law student. Another one is in Osu, law student. So, and the rest, they are doing relatively well academically. My first daughter is a lecturer. She is running her PhD at Babcock University. Now she works with Abraham Adesanya Polytechnic in Dele as a lecturer. They are doing fine academically.
There was a time, I think a few years back, you led a crusade that we should all go back to the stage. Yes. I don't know what eventually came out of that.
Those are the things that I said I am a little bit disappointed because my vision, you see, not everybody can be a famous film actor. Honestly, that is the bitter truth. But you just have to get yourself engaged artistically because theater is so broad to an extent that if you don't have the opportunity to appear in film, you can do stage. And that is why I've decided to encourage them there. I am still very much on it. I never relented my efforts on that. I still do still performance. In fact, I'm working on a project now in my town where I am having a theater village, not a film village, a theater village, just little place where you can, when you get there, you see people working on costume, you see people working on props, that has to do with theater. Then I'm planning to have a hall where live performance will, be on almost every now and then, every time. It's not that it's going to be a festive thing. No, it has to be something that goes almost every day. We can achieve it if we're really serious about it. Nobody ever knew that film production will go to this level in the last 15 years. It was when all these young ones that I've just mentioned, it was when they came in, they turned it around. So I want to believe that stage, if we don't want it to go into extinction, we can still, make something out of it. People who cannot go to location for film production can sit down. And, theater practice is so, is so complex that you have more time. You dedicate more time to it than all this cut and roll and cut and roll. You just have to go for rehearsal before you can be a very good stage actor. You have to rehearse, and that will take days. So it will just engage you, it will occupy you, it will make you busy instead of just going to location for nothing. I still see some people that will go to location, they are not invited. They will just go there and create nuisance. They will go there and they will be counting that years. So when it's about 10, 20, they will now be telling you, I've been in the practice for 20 years. 20 years that they have never for once appear in any production. It's laziness. To me, I'm sorry. It's just laziness. It's like you don't know what you're doing. You can't be saying that. A lot of people I've said it. I've seen a lot of people on screen saying, Mbata Bere, Ati Wande, 20 years ago. Some of them even started, yet truly, they started about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, like I've said, 47 years ago, they started. But maybe they were there for 5 years. After 5 years, they just thought, Kileleke, Yama Yama Baka, they left. Now the theater or the film production has, exposed a lot of people. They now enjoy stardom. People, keep appreciating them. They came back again. Maybe they came back last year. They have not made anything. They will now go on screen and say, Motiwande lati 20 years ago. They practiced for 5 years left and come back last year. They will not tell you that they have been on research for about 15 years. You have to remove that from your practice now. If truly you've been there for 20 years, then you have to remove the 15 years that you have been on research, that you have not been doing it. Just because you now see Odule Adekola making it, you now came back and you started claiming you've been there for 20 years. I don't subscribe to that. I don't believe in it. So I just laugh at them. So when people now say, okay, what if they don't know, I see them as non-entity. They don't know what they're talking about. Òòṣà tí ò bá gbé ni a máa ń sìn lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. If you know this thing is not, I'm not saying that mo mọ̀ ṣe, ẹ máa ṣe mi gbọ́ o, I'm not saying I'm perfect, no, I'm not perfect. But if I have done it for so many years and I could not make ends living, I would have left. I would have thought of something else. That is just the bitter truth. To challenge me as a communicator, you will know that I actually went to school. That I know. I don't want anybody to give me a certificate that I cannot defend. And that is why I've made up my mind that I can't go back there. Told me tell you, I make money. If not, I would have gone back to school again. I love because I know it will pay off one day. And it's paying off for real. Because at times I will just see some people saying, Dele, can you help us take the role of a father? I speak English. I said, no problem, now I speak English. Then I will go. If I have not gone to school, I would not have gotten the classmates. It's as simple as everything. If you don't go to school, you don't have a classmate. So it's paying me. It's paying off. I like that. But ìwọ̀nba tí mo ní ìjà rẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ mi àwa ṣe lóko.
If you're not busy on location, on set and all that, how do you unwind? What are the things you do?
Honestly, doctor, I am a very homely person.
Okay.
I don't have much friends. People don't know that. I'm a different person. No, this is me. This is just me. The way you are saying it now, this is me. Mo lè má kúrò lọ, mo lè má bọ́lẹ̀ lókè. Àwọn ọmọ mi gan máa ń sọ pé why are you like this? Mo lè má bọ́lẹ̀ lókè sísàlẹ̀ for 3 days. 3 days. For 3 days. Mo lè má bọ́lẹ̀ débi tí màá jẹ ẹ̀bọ̀ sí compound if I don't, because I make myself so comfortable. I try as much as possible that I make my room comfortable enough for me. I'm not saying it's beautiful. Comfortable enough for me. Not to stay too long at location. I will always want to come back to my room because I love the way I have designed my room. I may choose not to come down if I don't want to, except I need to eat. And that is when my children are not around. My wife is not around anyway. My children, every one of them, they are in school. Àwọn tó dẹ̀ ti dàgbà, they are on their own. Mi ò lè ní kẹ́ni tó ti marry kó tó wá jókòó tì mí. I have ọkùnrin tó ti níyàwó, mo ní obìnrin tó ti lọ́kọ. That one that I said, tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ níjẹ̀ gbogbo yẹn, she's married already and I have some. Èyí tí ó ti marry go already àti wá bá mi lé ó ti dúró jẹ́jẹ́ ara ẹ̀ sí ibi tó wà. So I have 5 of them who are independent. So they don't actually need to be coming to me, regularly, except they just want to see daddy. So, and others, they are in school, and they are very much active in school. They cannot just compromise it. So I really, I play table tennis if by chance I stumble on somebody who has a table tennis thing, and I can play table tennis effect. But I am not addicted to anything. I drink, but I'm not addicted to it.